Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 of the strings chapter. So we will just quickly go through what we have covered in the last part. So we have seen what is the definition of a string, how to declare it, then how to initialize it, and the two methods of initializing it, one using the double quotes and one using the array elements using curly braces. Then we saw the importance of null character and how to calculate the length of the string. We also saw how to do partial initialization and what happens to the remaining elements when it is partially initialized. Okay, then we have seen how to display how to read the string from the terminal with the help of %s and brackets, and %s has a limitation that it can read only a word. That means it will stop reading after it encounters a space. And if you want to read a complete sentence, that means you want to read paragraphs or complete lines, then you have to use % brackets with this particular syntax. So this we have seen in the last video. Then another method of reading is with the help of getS. So we have also seen which one is better, scanf or getS, and we have seen it completely depends from application to application. Okay, then we have seen some programs. This was the problem statement number 2. This was the third, fourth, and few homework problems. And then we finished up with the last problem or to check whether the string is palindrome or not. Okay, so now today we will start with how to display a string onto the screen. Okay, so we already know how to display a string with the help of printf, right? Printf and using %s, right? That we already know, right? Another way of doing the same thing is with the help of the command puts. Okay, so this we have not seen. So we will just quickly look at this command and then we will go ahead with our strings chapter. Okay, so let me first initialize an character array. So let's say character A of size 20, and let's say I initialize it with Mumbai. Okay, so I have this. Now to display this, the first method was printf, right? Printf %s and comma a. Okay, so always remember when you're using printing an array, character or string, basically you should not use ampersand sign. This is the first method. If I run this, you can see I get the result. Another way, the second way, is to use puts, and I will just give the variable a, and if I just run it now, it will give me Mumbai. Okay, the first Mumbai was printed by printf and the second Mumbai was printed by puts. Okay, so you can see both of them gives you the same result. Okay, so then now which one to use? So this question is very easy to answer, because if you want let's say you want to format the string before printing, so that is where you use printf. Okay, or let us say you want to print multiple variables, like for example I have another variable called b of 20 size, and it's written Delhi over here, right? So if I want to print two strings using puts, I will have to copy this and I will have to run this command twice, right? So puts a and puts b. Whereas if I do it with printf, I can do 2 %s and I can just add it on over here, and this will give me the same result. You can see the first is Mumbai space, the space comes from here, right? So I have added a space and then Delhi, whereas puts gives you Mumbai and Delhi on separate lines. So always remember, whenever you do puts, the new line is automatically inserted. Okay, so that is one advantage, so that you can add multiple variables, multiple strings in one printf. Second advantage is you can format the string and write the data. Okay, let's say for example, I love percentage s. Okay, so this, in this case, I can do this. Okay, so I can actually print, I can do I love percentage s, and if I run this, you can see it says I love Mumbai. So this was printed by the printf, and then Mumbai and Delhi printed by the puts. Okay, so now if I want to do the same thing with the help of puts, then it's not possible. Okay, let us see. Okay, it's actually not possible with the help of puts alone. So what I have to do is you have to add a printf again in on top of that. Okay, or you can use in fact you can use puts directly, and inside that you could simply say I love Mumbai. Okay, so if I run this, you will see what happens. Okay, if I print, what happens is it will print I love, and then it will print a new line before printing Mumbai. Okay, you can see it prints I love and then it prints Mumbai, but in a different line. So that is why alone with puts I cannot accomplish tasks something like this. Okay, so I have to use printf over here, and then if I do it, you can see now it works. Okay, so but the funda is always remember, whenever you want to print something in a formatted way, then it's always better to use printf, okay, rather than puts. And the only thing that you want is just to print something onto the screen, then puts print some characters onto the screen, then puts will be a good choice. Okay, now before moving ahead, I would like to show you one more thing. I will just remove all these things. Okay, so now if I just run this, it will print Mumbai, right? Now let us say that printf has few more advantages than simply printing a formatted string. You can also restrict the amount of content that is displayed on the screen, okay, with the help of precisions. Okay, so let us say I just first of all, before doing anything, let me just use a pipe symbol so that it's easier for us to see what's going on. Okay, if I just print it, you can see it's the same string, but Mumbai is printed, but before Mumbai and after Mumbai I have added a pipe symbol, okay, just as a indicator where the string starts. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the width of the of this particular string. Let's say I make the width as 10. Okay, so now if I run it, you can see what happens. Okay, so what happens is it now uses this particular slot uses 10 strings. Okay, so out of which 6 is used by the string A, and the remaining is empty, so that is left as empty. Okay, so this what it does is it reserves width of 10 for the string. Okay, so whatever is the size of your string, it will always print reserve 10 width for this. Okay, so let us say I increase the width to something else. Okay, I will just increase Mumbai city is good, and I will just stop this, and if I run it again, you can see what happens is it prints the complete thing, right? So it doesn't if the string goes more than the required whatever is the specified width, then it will print everything. Okay, but if it is less, it will maintain the width. Okay, so this is very important to understand, that whenever the string width is less, it will give you the minimum width. Okay, and it will not maintain the width if it is more than that. Okay, so once that is done, so let's say I don't want to print more characters than 10. Okay, so how to limit that? Now to limit it, what you can do is you can just do a precision after 10. So after 10 I will just put 0.10. Okay, so 0.10, what it does is it will say that it is you want to print only 10 characters inside the string. Okay, so it will count from here 1 2 3 4 5 6, then the 7th is the space, 8 9 and 10. So it should print till here. Okay, so you can see, so it printed till Mumbai sit. Okay, because it will print only 10 characters. So this is the importance of using these two parameters. Okay, so now why I have explained you these are because now during your exams it is possible that you may get some string related patterns that to print. Okay, so in that case you will require the knowledge of these particular format. Okay, so how to set the width and how to do precision. Okay, so always remember to set the size of the column, you use the width that is before the point, and if you want to limit the number of characters in the string, you just add a point and then specify the number of characters. Okay, I hope you have understood. Let's move ahead with our part 2. Okay, so we have seen both the printf and the putf functions, and I also explained how different ways you can use printf. Let's begin with the String.h library. Okay, so till now we were dealing with strings in a raw manner. Now we are going to use a different library. This is a inbuilt library inside most of the compilers. So this is called the string library. The way you include this onto your header is with the help of #include string.h. Okay, so these are basically some utility functions to handle strings in a better way. Okay, so we will see different functions in this string.h library. So there is string length function, then string copy, then string concatenate, string compare, string lower, string upper, and string reverse. Okay, so these are not the only functions that are there. So I have selected a few of them, a few important ones, and I have displayed. If you want to know the complete list, you can check the description for the resources for the complete list of functions. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. So this is the simplest one, which is basically giving you the length of the string. Okay, so we have in the last in the last lecture, we have seen how to calculate the length. We have written a program on it where we gave a length and the program would return the number of characters inside the string, right? So the same thing is done with the help of this command. Okay, the single command will give you the length of the string. Okay, so let us see how to use it. So basically you start with you always remember, when any of the functions in the string.h library, if you want to use, you have to include this header on top of it. Okay, so you just include this, then you define inside your main, you define your your character. Okay, here one thing to note is I have not included the entire program, so obviously there is #include stdio.h and int main, and the other things are there. I have just written the things which are important in this program. Okay, so include the library, then define the character, and then you just to find out the length of the string. Let's say for example the length of a right now, you can easily see it is 6, right? So after running this command, what it does is it gives you the result as 6. Okay, so basically this function will give you value of 6 as the output. So this is basically the way you find out the length of the string. Let's take an example. Let's say I have this character, right? Mumbai city is good, and let's say I take another variable, let's say int x, okay, which is going to store, let's say we don't name it as x, let's say length. Okay, so let's say we have a length variable. Then I want to find what is the length of the string. So length is basically string length and the name of the string, that is a, right? So once I do this, what I get is the length inside the length, right? Now if I do printf, and remember it is the length is in integer format, so this should be %d comma length. Okay, so once this is done, if I run it right now, it will get executed, but just remember that I have not included the header file. I just want to show you what happens when you run this program without the header file included. Okay, if I run this, it works perfectly, and you can see if you count this, you will get 19. Okay, so 19 is the string length of a. Okay, but if you see, I have not included the string library, but still it runs, right? So that is because if you look at the warning properly, so it does say that the string length, there is a warning which says the string length is implicit declaration is there. So to remove this warning, always remember you should include the library. Okay, so I will just include the library string.h. Okay, so once that is done, now if I run it, you can see it gives me the result and there are no warnings. Okay, so always remember, if you are using any of the string library functions, always include the header first. Okay, so once that is done, let us go back to the slides. So now you understood what is the use of string length. Let's go to the next one. This is string copy. Okay, so as you must be aware, let's say before I tell you what this function does, let us take another come to the program. Let's remove length and remove everything from here, and take another variable, let's say b of size 20. Okay, and now I want to copy everything from a to b. Okay, so if it would have been an integer, let's say a is equal to 10 and b integer is there, then I could have easily done b is equal to a, right? But in case of arrays, in case of here, these both are arrays. So this statement directly I cannot do. Okay, so directly I cannot assign one array to another array, right? So for that I have to write a program which is going to go and copy each and every character one by one into b, right? So that will be something like this, right? So a of I is copied to b of I. Okay, so basically one by one, first m will be copied to b, then u will be copied to b. So this entire thing has to be inside a while loop, like we have done in the last few problem statement. So there we have done such kind of problems where we have to copy one string to another string, right? So the same thing we can do with the help of library functions. Okay, so the library functions to do that is called string copy. So what string copy does is it copies string from a to b. Okay, so a very important thing to remember is in string copy, the first parameter is the destination on which you want to store the data, and the second parameter is the source. Okay, so whichever variable has the data should come at the second location, and whichever data that wants the data should come at the first place. Okay, so just an example, let's say I have this character with a value of Mumbai, character A with value of Mumbai. I want to copy value Mumbai to B. Okay, so I will simply do string copy, and B is where I want to store. So this is the first parameter should be B, and A is where the data is already there, right? So second parameter should be A. Okay, so after doing this, the value will be copied from A to B. And now if I run this program, I will get the inside B also there will be Mumbai. Okay, so you can try this. Let's go to the next one. Next one is string concatenation. Okay, so basically if you want to join two strings, okay, so there we use strcat. Okay, strcat. So basically what happens over here in the previous step, string copy, it is actually replacing the data which was there in B with A. Okay, so just to show you what I mean, let's say I have Mumbai in A, and let's say I have Delhi in, let's say Delhi is the best place. Okay, so I have this over here and Mumbai over here. If I simply do string copy, okay, and if I give B, because B is where I want to copy, comma A. Okay, so value from A will be copied to B. Okay, so now the point to note over here is the complete thing will be removed from B and will be replaced by only Mumbai. Okay, so let us try that. Now to display this, I will use puts or printf, whatever suits you, right? So printf B, and if I run it, I should get Mumbai, right? Perfect. Okay, so this is what is string copy. Now let us see what is string cat. Okay, string cat is similar to the previous one, but it actually joins the two strings. Okay, so let's say I have Mumbai and Delhi. Mumbai and Delhi is the best. Now if I just do string cat A comma B, okay, and if I print A, okay, so what is done over here is it actually takes data from B, that is this data, and it adds it to the at the end of the first string. Okay, so it adds it after Mumbai, okay, after I. Okay, and so the data of A will change, so that's why I'm printing A. If I just run this, you can see Mumbai and Delhi is the best, right? So this basically takes it out from here and puts it over here. Okay, and just to show the value of B doesn't change, see the value of B is still the same even after copying it to A, right? So only the value of the first parameter, whatever is there, is gets changed. Okay, so let's say I just reverse this, string B A. So what happens is Mumbai will be now taken and appended over here. Okay, so if I just run this, you can see Delhi is the best and Mumbai. Okay, so I think you have understood, you must have understood how this works, strcat works. So this is just an example. Let's go to the next one. The next one is string compare. Okay, so this is a mistake, I have to replace it by string compare. Okay, so string compare checks if both the strings are equal. Okay, so now to check if both the strings are equal, you will have to check each character one by one. Okay, but this function removes the problem of checking each and every character. You just have to simply give true strings, and if they are equal it will give you 0. Okay, so this is what how it looks like. Let's say you have two characters A and B. One has hello and the other has exact same hello. Okay, so if I do string compare A comma B, then if both of them are equal, your string compare will give you value of 0. Okay, so here I am checking whether both of them after comparing, does this value comes out to be 0. Okay, if it is 0, that means it is same. If it is not 0, then it means it is different. Okay, so just to show you what I mean, let's say I have two characters and I just do string cmp. Okay, string compare. It doesn't matter whether it is A comma B or B comma A, right? And I just want to printf. Okay, I will just do a printf, simple printf %d, because the value being returned is a string, so I will just use value being returned is an integer. It is whether either it is if it is 0, it means it is equal, right? So I'm just printing that value with the help of this. Okay, so I will just remove this and let's see, let's print it. You can see we are getting -1. Okay, so if I make this both equal, okay, so A is Mumbai, B is Mumbai, and if I run it, you can see because they are equal you got value of 0. Okay, so if I just change this to Mumbai, okay, small Mumbai, and if I run, it still gives me 1, right? That means it is not equal. Okay, so always remember this is case sensitive, right? So case matters over here. So these two are not equal. Okay, now second thing, let's say this is Mumbai and I just add a space around over here. So what do you think, will it be equal? So definitely it is not going to be equal, right? So it is becoming 1. Okay, so it is not equal. So once I do make it equal, now if you see, the values will, your result will be 0. Okay, so always remember string compare. If both the string is same, exactly same, then it will give you 0. Okay, so now there is a slight misconception that why it is giving sometimes -1 and why it is giving 1. Okay, so basically it if it is not equal, let's say I take A and B. Okay, so if they both are equal, if I run this right now, you can see it gives me 0. Okay, so let's suppose the number of characters in A is more and B is less. Okay, so now if I run it, just see what happens. So you get 1. Okay, so now let us change this, and now the number of characters in B is more. Okay, so I have added one extra character, a space. Now if I run it, what do you see is you get -1. Okay, so basically you should understand that it will if it is 0, it means both of them are equal. If it is 1, means the first parameter has a higher, obviously it is not equal, and also the first parameter is having more characters. Okay, and if it is -1, means it is not equal and the second parameter is having more number of characters. Okay, so I hope you have understood the string compare function. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is very simple. It basically converts any string to a lowercase. Okay, so this is how you use it. So basically you declare any array, any character, basically any string, then you run this command, and then after that if you check, you will see that the string is all lower. Okay, so let us see whether it works. So here I have the Mumbai I have a character A called Mumbai. Okay, so now I am going to do string lower of A. After doing string lower, I will just do put s and A. Okay, so now here you can see M is capital and remaining everything is small case, right? So after running this, you can see what has happened. The capital has become lowercase. Okay, perfect. So this is what this function does. Let's see the next one. This is the same, but it does the opposite. It converts any character to uppercase. Okay, so the concept is fairly similar. I will just show you. Okay, string upper. So as you can see, you could have guessed that this part will be converted to uppercase. Perfect. Okay, so these are the two functions that are important, which may be useful while doing string related programs. Okay, so let's move on to the last function that we will be seeing in the String.h library, that is string reverse. Okay, so now we have done a program to reverse the string in the last part, that we have done without using the library. Okay, now the same thing becomes very easy if you use the library function. Okay, I will just show you an example. So you declared an array and you just run this command. One single command does the job for you. Okay, so it converts hello to OLLEH. Okay, so let's take an example. So here I have Mumbai. I will just do string reverse and I will try to print it. Okay, so if I run it, you can see what happens. IABMUM. Okay, so this string has just been reversed. Perfect. Okay, so that finishes up with the string reverse, or basically all the functions of string that we were going to cover. Now these are not the only functions that are there. There are many more functions, but I have covered the important ones. You can check the description for the complete list of functions. Okay, so let's go to another library. So this library is a standard library of C, which also has a few of the functions which are related to strings. Okay, so this library has a lot of functions, lot of useful functions, but we are going to see only two functions which are related to strings. Okay, so because this is the strings chapter, we will be doing only those few functions, and I will be putting up a complete different video on the various functions of std library in a different video. Okay, so let's begin with this. So if you want to use this library, you just have to do hash include stdlib.h. Then next, the very important function is atoi. Okay, so before I start with this, I would just like to show you. Let's say I have a character array. Okay, and I want let us get the data from the user. So get s a. Okay, so we have the user enters something. Okay, so user enters something, and let's say we ask the user to enter a string. Okay, now let's say we want the user to enter the year. Okay, so let us do printf and let's say enter year. Okay, so after that the user will be entering, and let's say I want to check whether that year is greater than 2000 or not. Okay, so what do you think? Can I do this? If a greater than 2000, then printf printf yes, okay, else printf no. Okay, so this is basically a simple program where the user enters a year, and we have to check whether that that year is greater than 2000 or not. Okay, so now do you think this program will work? It will not work. Okay, so the reason is it will not work because we are getting a string. Okay, so we cannot directly compare a string with an integer. Okay, because this is integer 2000 and a is a character array. Okay, so you cannot compare it directly. So first thing is whatever the user enters, we have to convert it into integer. Okay, so to do that we will have to get each and every character and find the ASCII value of it, and we have to check whether that number that character is between 0 or 1 or not, and then form the number. Okay, so this is a bit complicated. So to resolve that, the std library has a function called atoi. Okay, so it basically says it basically converts string to integer. Okay, so let us try that. Okay, so instead of a, I will simply say a2i of a. Okay, so rather than doing a to I directly, directly a, I will do a to I a. Okay, so a to I means string to integer. Okay, now you may be thinking why it is a, because actually it is an array, right? So it is an array, so that's why it's array to integer. Okay, so after that, once this is done, it would convert this into a valid year. Okay, so let us run and see if it works. So enter year, let's say 2003. So it says yes. Again, if I run it, let's say 1998, and you can see it is no. Okay, so it is perfectly converting integer to this thing. Okay, what if the user enters, instead of a year, user enters some gibberish? Okay, so he enters something. Okay, so what it does is it if you read the comment over here, if no valid conversion could be performed, then it returns 0. Okay, that means if user enters anything invalid, so a to I will give you value of 0. Okay, so actually to detect it perfectly, I could have written I could have added another if else construct and checked for 0. Okay, but then this is what a to I does. It converts the string entered by the user to a integer. Okay, so now next let us, so this is just the way you have to use it. I have already shown you the demo. Let's look at the last function, a to f. Okay, so now you must have already guessed what this does. Okay, so a to f is nothing but your string to floating value. Okay, so it is basically the same thing. Okay, but it will display a floating number instead of, it can convert the whatever is entered by the user in the string format to a floating decimal point number. Okay, so okay, so this is the example. Let's say you have a value of 19.3 inside the character array. Okay, and if you give it to this, you will get 19.3 in floating value. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Write a program in C to reverse a string. Okay, so to reverse a string, I would take two variables, let's say a and b. Okay, so a will be the input and b will be the reversed string, right? So let us first get the data from the user. Okay, so get as a, so that will get the data from the user. Then what I am going to do is I am going to reverse a. Okay, reverse A, and before doing reverse A, I would like to copy it because I don't want to change the original variable. So I will just copy copy B comma A. Okay, so always remember, when you do copy, you should have the source at the second parameter and destination at the this parameter. Okay, so now I do string reverse of B. Okay, so what happens is A has the original data, then I copy the value of A into B, and then I reverse B, and now I am going to print both these things. So I will do put as A and then put as B. Okay, so one is in the reversed form and one is in the original form. Okay, just run it. So now let's say I write my name Shiburaj. If I enter, you can see I have the original Shiburaj and then the reverse of my string. Okay, so you can see how easy it is to make to reverse the string. Obviously I could have done it with a single variable also, but I preferred to copying it first so that you can understand how both these functions are used with the help of string library. Okay, so let us go to the last part of this video, that is table of strings. Okay, now till now what we have seen is, let me go to your character array. Okay, so I have a character array with the name, let's say Mumbai. Okay, so it is stored over there, right? So what is it possible to store multiple cities? Okay, let's say this character's name is cities. Okay, so basically right now it is storing only one city. Okay, so is it possible to have a single variable to store multiple cities? Okay, so that is where we are going to use a table of strings. Okay, so to do that, it is basically like a multi-dimensional array. Okay, so all you have to do is just decide how many cities you want to store. Okay, so here let's say I want to store 5 cities, so I will add, before that I will just add 5. So now what happens is this converts it the entire thing into a multi-dimensional array. So now we have already seen in the arrays chapter how we initialize multi-dimensional arrays. We simply do curly braces and then we give the indexes, right? So the first index is, let's say, Mumbai. Okay, so once this is done, so you can see what these two things tell you. Okay, so what this first parameter tells you is you can store up to 5 names. Okay, so you can have such 5 rows, right? And inside each row you can have 20 characters. Okay, so that means this can go up till 20. Okay, so 20 characters can be stored in one of these slots. Okay, so like that 20 can be stored over here, 20 can be stored over here. Okay, so now once it is declared, now how to access this variable? Okay, how to access that string? Okay, so basically you just do put as. Okay, now obviously you cannot do cities directly, okay, because it is an array of arrays, right? So I cannot access it directly, but I can access it with the help of index. Okay, so I can do, let's say I want to print Mumbai. So Mumbai, this is at index 0. Okay, this is at index 0. It's like normal arrays only. So this is index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so if I want to access the first one, I will just do protest city is 0. If I run this, you can see it prints Mumbai. If I want to access the third one, that is Chennai, I will do 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so I will put 2 over here and I run it. You can see Chennai. Okay, perfect. So I hope you have understood how the strings are handled with the help of string library, and I have also explained few other functions inside other libraries, Stdlib.h. Those are important in some cases. Okay, so and as a last part, we have also seen table of strings. Okay, so that is it for this today's lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.